PlayStation 5 has been out for a little over 3 years now, and some could argue that, well, there hasn't really been that many next-gen exclusives that justify making the purchase for a PlayStation 5, especially in South Africa, where the prices range from 11,000 to 13,000 Rand for a new one without any games or accessories, just the console and the controller. So, are there games that actually justify the purchase of a PlayStation 5? I'm here to tell you of 3 games that I think do justify the purchase of a PlayStation 5. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Arctic the Fox, and this channel is dedicated to all things PlayStation. Well, predominantly PlayStation console systems, collecting the full games, and trophy hunting videos. Also, if you have been watching my channel more recently, you know that I have completed all 3 Spider-Man games on my channel as playthroughs. Those sort of things are going to drop away. From now on, what we're going to be doing from here on out is basically videos like this where I talk about top 10, top 5, top 3 games in certain categories, as well as hopefully on Tuesdays we're going to have something called Trophy Tuesdays, where I upload a video on trophy hunting from my own perspective. So if you've seen on my channel, I've done The Last of Us trophy hunting and Tome trophy hunting videos. If you have the time, please go check those out. I would really appreciate it. But also, we will be doing more and new trophy hunting videos, more platinum trophy hunting videos. And then on another day, we are going to do videos such as this. So let's hop straight into the video. First of all, I have 2 honorable mentions. One of them come packaged in with the PlayStation 5, and I think every PS5 owner should experience Astro's Playroom. This game is... So Editor Tate just has to jump in here quickly. Just pay attention to how many times I say phenomenal in this video. I'll add a count. Phenomenal. It's a complete love letter to all things PlayStation and all of its history. I love this game. When I got my PlayStation 5, this was the first thing that I played. I played it for about 4 or 5 hours, got the Platinum Trophy, and loved every second of the game. There were a few challenging-ish areas where you did a little bit of platforming, so if you're not used to platforming games, this game can throw a little bit of a loop to you, but it's nothing that no one can get over. I love Astro's Playroom. It is still the game that uses the DualSense controller and its haptics the best. I mean, nothing compares to Astro's Playroom with the haptics, except maybe one game on the list comes slightly close, but not quite there just yet. The second honorable mention is technically a game that you can play on PS4, but the DLC is actually what I want to focus on, and that is Horizon Forbidden West, the Burning Shores DLC. This DLC is what Horizon Forbidden West could have been if it was just a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Some of the gameplay mechanics are just over the top and completely impossible to accomplish probably on the PS4, and I think if you are going to play Horizon, maybe you should wait to get a PS5 and then play Horizon Forbidden West, along with the Burning Shores DLC, because the Burning Shores DLC is spectacular. The mechanics within the Burning Shores are what I think make it a must-play game. I mean, diving into the water and then coming straight back out on a water wing is something that I first of all couldn't have imagined that we were going to play on flying mounts when we got Horizon Forbidden West. Using flying mounts with the Sunwing already was something spectacular, but now this diving mechanic that comes in and out of the water blew me away. I love it. Okay, so those are my 2 honorable mentions out of the way. So now we move on to the 3 games that I genuinely think are the console sellers for PlayStation 5. 3 games that I have played, 2 of which I've completed and platinumed, 1 of which I haven't completed, and that's what we're going to start with, and that is Returnal. Returnal is phenomenal. I haven't beaten the game. I haven't even got past the second boss in the game. There are 5 bosses in total. I haven't got past the second one, and yet I love this game. It is so phenomenal. I do not like roguelites, however you want to say it, however it is supposed to be said, but I love this game. The beauty of this game is within its use of the DualSense controller. When you're walking through the land, you just feel the rain throughout the whole game. Obviously, you're going to be seeing gameplay over here, and hopefully I have some capture of the DualSense rumbling as I'm walking through the main or the first area, and you just see how the rain affects the DualSense controller. This is the only game that I think comes close to Astro's Playroom and the story is so enticing and so gripping. I just want to carry on playing and get further and further into the main story. Obviously, with a roguelike, though, when you die, you lose everything, and you have to progress straight through everything right again. And I think that's part of the fun. I think that makes the game a little bit more challenging, a little bit more interesting. And usually when I play games like this, I stop playing them. I just hate them. This game is not because of that. I put this down because so many other games came out when I played this game. And one of the games that I got when I started playing this game is the next game on our list. And that is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I mean, talk about a classic. From PlayStation 2 all the way to PlayStation 5, Ratchet & Clank has been a staple. Nothing comes close to having, I suppose maybe one other titular character is on the same level as Ratchet & Clank when it comes to PlayStation and their mascots. But yeah, for me, Ratchet & Clank is the duo for PlayStation, and I love it. Rift Apart makes such good use of the PlayStation's SSD speed, and you even see a little bit of what Ratchet & Clank achieved in the next game that I will be speaking about, which is this portal mechanic where you can instantly hop between two different locations using these portals that Insomniac designed that is impossible to achieve on PlayStation 4 because we need that SSD speed that the PlayStation 5 has. Other than that, the graphics look phenomenal. The gameplay is fantastic. It's that classic Ratchet & Clank shoot 'em up where you just run and gun everything in your path, and it is phenomenal. Also, that classic bolt sound when you collect the bolts, nothing beats that. I love that. The only thing more classic is maybe the Lego stud sound. But for me, Ratchet & Clank bolt sound, love it. Now, the final game on my list is the most recent, the most spectacular, the most hyped game of 2023 potentially, and that is Spider-Man 2. Now, when I was saying that Spider-Man 2 incorporated a little bit of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, what we've got to realize is that Insomniac did both these games. So Insomniac is flying miles above everyone else that is doing anything on PlayStation 5. And yeah, there's a little bit of a sequence, I'm not going to spoil Spider-Man 2, where they use the same portal technique in Spider-Man 2 that came from Rift Apart, and I thought that was phenomenal. If you haven't seen my videos on my playthrough, they are linked in the, well, they won't be linked, they will be on my channel, and you can watch what I'm talking about in, I don't know which episode, I'll put it up here, which episode it is, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 is great. The story is the perfect sequel story, doesn't change anything groundbreaking. It is a great story, a phenomenal story. Not exactly game of the year for me. I think there are much bigger games that came out this year that had much bigger impacts. I mean, I haven't personally played Baldur's Gate 3, but I hear that that is phenomenal. Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom came out on a Nintendo Switch. So there are games that came out that I think are a little bit more poised to take Game of the Year from Spider-Man 2. But Spider-Man 2 is the quintessential PlayStation 5 game. Now, what I mean by that is it is the game that uses the SSD speed to completely different levels than what Ratchet & Clank does. The fast travel mechanic, as you'll probably be seeing on screen now, is insane. I didn't realize how insane the fast travel mechanic was until after I actually completed the game, where you just, anywhere on the map, you can go into any street and swing straight into it, and it takes about a second, which is just insane. Imagine trying to do that on a PlayStation 4. I mean, on my PlayStation 4, I just hear my PlayStation 4 going off like a jet when I want to fast travel or just do anything slightly graphically intensive. So the PlayStation 5 handles this exquisitely, and Spider-Man 2 is definitely one of those games that I think sells a console. Obviously, we had the PlayStation 5 Spider-Man bundle, or you could also purchase the Spider-Man 2 controllers, dual sensors, which are great. And I think Sony knew that this was going to be their game. For me, I was expecting a little bit more, but don't let that take away from what Spider-Man 2 is. It is a console seller, and it is definitely worth your time. I definitely think you should play Spider-Man 2 if you get a PS5. I think it's the first game you should play directly after Astro's Playroom. It's the first game you should purchase. Let me put it that way. Astro's Playroom is the first game you play when you get a PlayStation 5, and then you move on to Spider-Man 2. Yeah. So if you enjoyed the video, and if you do have any of these games or are thinking about getting any of these games, please let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos just like this. Thank you.